finding a stone so heavy that today's cranes would struggle to lift it, and realizing someone placed it exactly where they wanted over 2,000 years ago. Modern engineers can raise skyscrapers 1,000 feet into the sky, but some structures built thousands of years ago still leave them without an answer. Over the next few minutes, you'll see 20 of them. Stones heavier than a Boeing 747. Cities carved 60 meters underground. Walls so precise that not even a blade fits between the stones. Here's the question that connects all of them. What if these weren't isolated achievements? What if ancient builders on opposite sides of the planet understood something we've since forgotten? Start with the one you already know. The Great Pyramid, roughly 2.5 million stone blocks, built more than 4,500 years ago. It stayed the tallest human-made structure on Earth for nearly 4,000 years. Some of its internal granite beams weigh 72 tons. That's heavier than 12 African elephants, resting 50 feet above the ground, fitted into place with a precision modern surveyors still find remarkable. The base is level to within a fraction of an inch. The whole structure is aligned to true north with a precision some modern buildings don't even hit. Ramps, levers, manpower, all proposed, none of them proven. But here's where it gets stranger. If this was the limit of ancient engineering, the next site shouldn't exist at all. Beneath Cappadocia, an entire city was carved 60 meters underground, deeper than an 18-story building turned upside down. Thousands of people once lived inside it. Picture living inside solid rock. Kitchens, stables, wells, even chapels, all cut by hand, level after level, with ventilation shafts that still move air today. Engineers studying it now still aren't sure how the airflow was calculated so precisely. And that's only half the mystery. Nobody agrees on who built it, or why an entire population decided to disappear underground in the first place. Now picture a city built with the same obsession for precision, but sitting in the open, made of stones you could park a truck inside. In Lebanon's Bekaa Valley sit stones that make the pyramid's granite beams look small. One weighs 725 tons. A second, still lying nearby, unused, weighs over 900. Picture standing next to a single stone, heavier than a fully loaded jumbo jet, and realizing it was quarried, moved, and nearly set into place without a single crane. No sledges strong enough have ever been found, no wheel tracks, no clear route. This wasn't even the most impossible part of the ancient world, because 6,000 miles away, in the mountains of Peru, someone was doing something even stranger, fitting stones together with no gap at all. These walls are built from blocks over 90 tons, shaped so precisely that not even a knife blade fits into the seams. No mortar, no gaps, just stone locked into stone. Every single block here was custom shaped to fit its neighbor, like a three-dimensional puzzle with 90-ton pieces. And yet, this civilization had no iron tools, no wheels, no draft animals strong enough to pull these into place. So what if the answer isn't a lost tool, but a lost method? Back in Egypt, a hall of 134 columns rises inside the Karnak temple, some over 20 meters tall. That's as tall as a 6-story building, carved with detail you'd expect to take a lifetime to finish. Egyptologists can date this hall almost to the decade, 13th century BCE. What they can't fully explain is the workforce, the timeline, or how carvings this fine were finished at this scale without a single visible mistake. If you thought Egypt only had pyramids, wait until you see what's waiting in the Andes. High in the Andes, blocks weighing 45 tons were dragged up a mountainside from a quarry on the opposite side of a river, with no wheels and no draft animals capable of the job. These walls have survived earthquakes for over 500 years without a single stone shifting. That's not luck. That's engineering we still can't fully reverse engineer. And the next stop takes that same obsession to an altitude of nearly 4,000 meters. Near Lake Titicaca, At an altitude where most machinery today struggles to even operate efficiently, Tiwanaku's stones exceed 90 tons, cut with edges so sharp and flat they look machine-milled. And then archaeologists noticed something unexpected. Some of these stones don't even come from a quarry near the site. They were moved across brutal terrain at an altitude that leaves modern hikers gasping for air. Next, heads carved from single blocks of stone, each one wearing a different face. Carved from basalt, these heads weigh up to 45 tons, as heavy as 8 adult elephants, and stand over 2 meters tall. The stone came from quarries 60 miles away, moved through swamp and river with no wheels at all. Each head has completely different facial features, which means these weren't generic statues. Someone was carved to be remembered. We just don't know who or why they mattered enough to justify moving 45 tons of rock in their honor. What's waiting in Afghanistan takes carving a face to another level entirely. These weren't built from blocks at all. Carved directly into a cliff face, the tallest Buddha here rose over 50 meters, as tall as a 15-story building, cut entirely out of solid rock. Workers would have spent years, maybe decades, suspended on scaffolding against a sheer rock face, removing stone rather than adding it. Meaning every single mistake was permanent. There was no starting over. The statues are gone now, destroyed in 2001. But the question of how they were carved with that kind of precision at that height never got answered. In Indonesia, Borobudur was built from thousands of individually placed stone blocks, arranged into a design so symmetrical, it looks computer-generated from above. Someone had to coordinate thousands of workers, thousands of blocks, and a design this precise, with no blueprints as we'd recognize them today. Structure number 17 on this list is going to completely change what you think impossible means. In Sri Lanka, an entire palace complex sits on top of a sheer rock column, nearly 200 meters tall, almost the height of a 60-story skyscraper. Stairways were carved directly into the cliff face just to reach it. At the top, working water systems, terraced gardens, and a palace, all built on a surface most people today wouldn't want to walk on without safety rails. How materials reached the summit remains, in the words of the archaeologists who study it, an open question. Now picture chambers just as precise, but carved somewhere nobody expected to find them at all. These underground chambers in China were found by accident, by a farmer pumping water out of what he assumed was just a pond. Inside, massive halls with smooth walls, evenly spaced pillars, and a level of consistency that looks manufactured, not carved by hand. Carving these chambers meant removing millions of tons of stone, with no historical record of who did it or why. Not a single document, not a single name. Just the caves themselves. What we're about to show you next looks like it was cut by a laser. It wasn't. This rock, sitting alone in the Saudi desert, is split cleanly in half. A gap so straight it looks engineered, with both halves somehow balanced on narrow stone legs. Geologists point to natural erosion. Not everyone's convinced that fully explains a cut this precise. Structure number 17, a stepwell in India that descends 20 meters underground, made of thousands of steps arranged in a pattern so symmetrical it looks like an optical illusion filmed from above. Once the capital of the Hittite Empire, Hattusa was ringed by stone walls stretched across brutally uneven terrain, with monumental gates, like the famous Lion Gate, still standing thousands of years later. Moving stones this size across terrain this rough wasn't just difficult. By most modern logistics standards, it shouldn't have been possible without heavy machinery. And just south of here, another civilization was doing something even more extreme, building 60 meters straight down. In southeastern Turkey, the summit of Mount Nemrut is crowned with statues of gods and kings over 9 meters tall as a 3-story building, placed there over 2,000 years ago as a tomb sanctuary. Getting to this summit today with modern hiking gear is still a demanding climb. Getting multi-ton statuas up here with none of that gear is a problem nobody's fully solved. But even this isn't the strangest transportation mystery on this list. That title belongs to an island in the middle of the Pacific. Notice the pattern yet? Peru, Egypt, Turkey, Bolivia, civilizations with no contact with each other, solving the exact same problem, the exact same way. Stones fitted with a precision that still challenges modern tools. Built on artificial islands in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, Nan Madol looks almost like a city floating on water. Stone structures connected by canals, some blocks weighing several tons each. Here's the problem. There is no basalt on this island. None. Every single stone had to be brought in from somewhere else, across open ocean, using boats, at a time when moving stone this heavy on land was already considered extraordinary. If you thought moving 90-ton blocks across mountains was hard, try moving them across an ocean, with no metal tools and no maps as we'd understand them. And that brings us back to where we started, because the biggest stones on this entire list aren't even the ones you'd expect. 20 structures, 6 continents, civilizations that never met, never traded, never shared a language, and yet they all arrived at the same impossible standard of precision. Maybe the greatest mystery isn't how they built any single one of these. It's why civilizations scattered across the entire planet all achieved something this advanced, and then, one by one, seemed to forget how. The biggest mystery isn't the stones. It's that thousands of years later, with all our tools, all our technology, we're still trying to understand the people who placed them. So, which one of these 20 would you have wanted to see built in person? Tell me in the comments. And if this made you question everything you thought you knew about the ancient world, you're going to want to see what's coming next.